Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Praise. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, thank you for joining us. Please consider subscribing to this channel if you like what we do here. If you're a returning subscriber, you are the real G. Thanks for always coming back and engaging with my content. So this is the second episode on my wedding planning series. This video is going to be in two parts. In the first half of this video, I'll be talking about finances in general, what to know when you're planning your wedding as regards finances. In the second half of this video, I'm going to be giving you money saving tips while you plan your wedding. If this is the content you signed up for, let's jump in. The very first thing finance wise that you need to do when planning your wedding is to budget. Now, your money determines your budget, not the other way around. You have decided you want to get married. It is important that yourself and your partner sit down together and say, this wedding, how much are we willing to invest in it? How much are we willing to put into this wedding? It is what you have, you now use to budget. Now that you have a budget, it is important to prioritize. Everything cannot be important to you. The fact that you want to save money while planning a wedding does not mean you should have a rubbish wedding. Some things are important to you. Fine, channel more resources towards them. The ones that are not necessarily important, find a way to get it done in such a way that it still makes sense. So prioritize. While budgeting, have a maximum amount of money in mind. There is no fixed amount of money for wedding. Sometimes people ask, how much does it cost to have a wedding? There is no fixed amount of money. There is no generally acceptable amount of money that can be used to throw a wedding party. So it is left to you to determine what you have a maximum amount in mind, be disciplined towards sticking to that budget, prioritize. Another point I would like to make is ask for help. When I say ask for help, I'm not saying borrow. Okay, so this is a 2-in-1 point. Please do not borrow to plan a wedding or to throw a wedding party. It doesn't make sense. Having debts at the end or at the beginning of your marriage is something you don't want to have. It just doesn't make sense. Ask people who have done it and they'll advise you not to do it. So please don't borrow for your wedding. As I was saying, if there are people around you, you can ask for help and it will cost them nothing to take some burdens off you while you plan your wedding. Don't hesitate to ask for help. Don't be ashamed. Don't be shy. If, for example, you have a boss or an uncle that has a very nice car and it won't cost them anything to let you have that car on your day, then go ahead and ask. It will save you the money you would have used to rent a luxury car. If you have a friend this is not an excuse to not pay your friends because you are throwing a wedding party, but there are certain people who will be willing to do things for you out of the benevolence of their heart because you are their friend. This might be one of the ways they'd want to contribute to your party, to your event, to your special day. So don't hesitate to ask for help. If there are people around you that would be happy to help and it won't cost them too much to help, don't be ashamed to ask for help. Another point I'd like to raise is that it is important that your home is set up before throwing a grand party and feeding the entire nation. I think it also falls under prioritization. Make sure your home is set up. See, this is 2021. These are not the days that people will come out and say we got married and we didn't have a bed, we didn't have a mattress. It doesn't make any sense. Put yourself first. Prioritize your marriage. Prioritize your relationship. Ensure that the things that are necessary to make you comfortable in your home are available. Have a washing machine. I don't know how people get married, blow huge amounts of money, and they don't have a washing machine. they don't have a couch, they don't have the simple things that will make life easy for them. So make sure that your home is settled to an extent, at least in such a way that yourself and your spouse will be comfortable before you blow that entire money on wedding. Also, don't use all your life savings for wedding. There is life after wedding. In fact, your life starts immediately after the wedding. So don't blow your entire life savings on wedding. Don't borrow. In line with not borrowing and blowing away your entire savings, ensure that you have some money that is locked away for you to have after wedding. So people go broke. Some people are smart enough not to borrow, but a lot of people go broke after their wedding. One of the things I advise a lot of the people around me to do is lock away some money. So if you have piggy vest, or what's the other one, I'll write it on the screen, I can't remember it. If you have any of those things, lock away money. Ensure that you don't have access to that money until after the wedding, so that after the wedding you are not going hungry. I don't know how people do these things, but it doesn't make any sense to me to have a wedding, have a party, enjoy yourself, and then after the wedding you don't have food in your house. Another thing I advise people around me is ensure that you have foodstuffs in your house. So as you are making your home comfortable and putting in the necessary furniture, go to the market and shop. Ensure that you have food stuff in the house, so that immediately after the wedding you will have food to eat, you have money to spend, you'll be happy, smiling at your spouse, and not broke over not broke, generally speaking. It's funny how people think that a wedding party is an investment. It's not an investment, it's a liability. You just spend money because you need to spend money. You probably want to have a very memorable day. You want to have fun. It's once in a lifetime, and it's understandable. But a number of people go into this wedding planning thing thinking that at the end of the wedding, they will get monetary gifts that will cover for how much they spent during the wedding. It's not a realistic thing. It happens for a very few people. It doesn't happen for everybody. So don't go into wedding planning with the mind that I will spend X amount of money, and then after the wedding people will gift me more than or as much as the X amount of money I spent. It's not a smart thing to do. Just have it in mind that this money I'm spending is going and is going. So anything you cannot afford to lose, anything that you would spend and that will give you sleepless nights, please don't spend that kind of money, okay? It is also important to note that you shouldn't have too many projects at the same time. So, I mean, for example, if you are planning to get married, you want to buy a car during the same period, you want to pay your house rent during the same period, it's going to be a lot of burden for you and your spouse to carry. So try and space out things. There's no need to hurry, there's no need to rush. If you need to rent an apartment first, rent an apartment, recover a little, and then maybe buy a car, recover a little, and then you can start putting money into actively planning your wedding. So try to space projects out so that they don't all come together and choke you. Now that the both of you are going to be coming together to plan your wedding, it is important that you have the conversation of I think the very first conversation you should have before even planning your budget is who is paying for this wedding. If you have parents who are financially sound and they want to take up the responsibility of paying for the wedding, it's also important to have the conversation with them as to what are you paying for, what are you doing, these are our plans, these are our priorities. Have the conversation as to how much each person is contributing. And then also, marriage is not 50-50. It might not be realistic that both of you will be able to contribute equal amount to the wedding. It shouldn't be a cause for concern. It shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. Both of you are coming together to be one. Whatever each of you can contribute, it is also important that it is not only one person that is paying for that wedding. It is very well, I think it is, maybe it's because it's important for me, it's a value for me, but as much as possible have the conversation of this is how much I have, this is how much I have, how do we bring our resources together to achieve what we want on our wedding day. So have that conversation. It might be a bit awkward and uncomfortable for you if the both of you are not used to having finance or financial conversations, but it's going to be important just so that everybody is on the same page and there is clarity and there are no unmet expectations, and all of this will minimize the fights that the both of you will have during the wedding planning period. When planning your wedding, it is important not to compare yourself to others. You can take cues from people, you can learn from people, but it is very, very important that you do not compare yourself to others. Because if some people open up to you as to how they get money to plan their wedding, you would not envy them. Okay, so don't compare yourself to others. Learn what you can learn, take what you can take, and then move on. You might want to space out your wedding. So if you're planning to get married in the next 3 months and things are not necessarily working out as planned, you might want to give yourself more time so that you are able to, get some more money and plan properly so you can get what you want. I mean, this will also help you to avoid borrowing. So these are some of the tips I have on finances generally, on wedding planning. At this point, if you have not subscribed, please do well to subscribe. It means a lot to me and to this community we are trying to grow. So please subscribe. Kindly watch till the end of this video. I have a gift for you if you are planning your wedding, so stick around. In this second half of the video, I'm going to be talking about things you can do to save money while planning your wedding. I've made this point already. Budgets. Make sure you have a budget. It will help you save unnecessary costs. Ask for favors. It will help you save unnecessary costs. Try not to go shopping during festive seasons. So be very strategic about your wedding planning. You people have proposed to each other. You know your proposed date in mind. Try to work around it. Christmas, Easter, New Year, Salah festivals are not the best time to go shopping for your wedding. So try to avoid festive periods when you're shopping for your wedding. Be sure to negotiate with vendors. Many vendors just give you a price and say this is the price for this. Have conversations. Don't take it at face value. It's not a supermarket. You can always negotiate and say, okay, these are your offerings for this price. If we take out this, how much will it cost? If we do this, how much will it cost? So try and negotiate with vendors. Try and avoid, because you also want something good at a decent rate, try and avoid overly cheap people. Ensure that you do your research very well. Talk to people who have gotten married and they'll be able to help you in this area. Another tip to save money is buy things gradually, or else you're a very busy person and you have a lot of money at your disposal. Buy things gradually. This would help you save some coins because you're not forcing everything into one day. You're able to make better decisions. For example, if you go to the market, if you're in Nigeria and you go to the market, for example, you go to Balogun Market in Lagos, it is not the first place you get to that you buy. Most times you want to check out 2 or 3 different options just to compare prices and know if you're getting the best deal. If you want to do your entire shopping in 1 or 2 days, you might not be able to get the best deals. So buy things gradually. Also, try and go to the source. You are trying to save money. If you have all the money, you can sit down in your house and order fabrics from wherever you want to order fabrics from. But if you are thinking of saving some money, it is important that you get yourself up from the chair, go to the source. Go to the source to get things. Even with regards to food, if you have a caterer who is shopping for you, some of them are willing to go the extra mile for you. Try and go to the source to get things because they are way cheaper that way. A one-day wedding is cheaper. So in Nigeria, typically we have people do the registry wedding, the traditional wedding, and the church wedding. But the 2 main ones are the traditional wedding and the church wedding that people do in Nigeria. If you do a 2 days wedding, for example, one on Thursday and one on Saturday, you'd most likely have a reception for both weddings. But if you have a one-day wedding, you're able to collapse the reception into one day. So you have maybe your traditional in the morning and your church wedding in the afternoon, and then you have a reception in the afternoon stroke evening. If you want to have an after party, it's all up to you. But a one-day wedding is generally cheaper than a 2 days wedding. Another tip to save money while during your wedding is to avoid alcohol. Alcohol is expensive, so you might want to stick to soft drinks because they are way cheaper. In addition to going to the stores to get things, also buy things in bulk. Buying things in bulk is way cheaper than buying things one. So try to buy things in bulk when you go shopping. Don't try to outdo yourself. Again, if you're trying to save money, this is not the time to pay for transport fare and hotel fare for everybody in the village. Anybody that can afford to come to the wedding, fine. If they can't afford to come to the wedding, this is 2021. Zoom. There is Zoom. Wherever they are, they can Zoom in. If you have money and you want to do a destination wedding and you want to fly all your friends out and pay for their hotel, that's an entirely different situation. But if you're a young person who is paying for your own wedding and you're trying to save cost because you know that there is life after a wedding, ensure that you don't outdo yourself. If your friends are coming and you cannot afford to pay for their hotel fee, please let them pay for their hotel fee. It's their own way of, showing you love and contributing to your big day. So try not to outdo yourself. One way to save some coins while planning your wedding is not to print an IV or program. So these days, most times people send, e-copies. Okay, I printed some because of my parents, but it wasn't really my intention to. So you can design nice invitations, send them to people online, and then for the program. So I noticed that immediately after your church wedding, the program is useless. What most people do with it is they use to fund themselves, or they leave it behind at the venue, or they take it home and throw it away, they dispose it. So if you can avoid it, then it is totally unnecessary to print programs for your wedding day. If you want to have a wedding website, instead of buying a domain name and hosting a website for that will cost you money, why not use Google Sites? So Google Sites is free. It's free. It's not that it's cheap. It's absolutely free. Get someone to help you design it, or you can design it yourself. Just watch YouTube videos and learn how to do that. It will come out really beautiful. Most people will not even know that it is a Google website. Okay, so as opposed to spending money hosting a website and maybe even paying a web developer, you can get somebody who is really good at what they do and get them to design a Google website for you. Another very important tip to consider when you want to save money on your wedding is plan your honeymoon ahead. If you want to travel out of the country, buy your tickets early, book your hotels early, look out for promos. So with regards to hotel and flights bookings, there are usually promos. There are websites you can go to get very luxurious hotels at affordable prices. I'm going to write out some of the websites on the screen. I'm going to display them. So if you want to travel out, check these websites out. Go on YouTube. Yes, go on YouTube. Watch videos on how to get flight discounts, how to get luxury vacation at very affordable prices. So do your research, okay? Do your research. Plan your honeymoon ahead. Most people don't have a honeymoon, not because they don't want to, but because they have spent all the money they would have used on a honeymoon on their wedding. Some people start thinking of booking hotels and flights at the last minute. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. Most times they spend more money than they would ordinarily have spent. So start planning your honeymoon early. In line with planning your honeymoon, there are travel agencies in Nigeria that you can work with that would help you. They will help you come up with a payment plan. So as opposed to paying in bulk, like 6 months or 3 months to your wedding, you can start putting money away gradually for your wedding. So this helps to give you some relief. As opposed to paying everything at once, you get to pay it gradually until you get the full amount of money that you need to go on your trip. Also, generally look out for sales and promos. There is no shame in this thing. There is no shame in it. I know someone who got married, I think 2 years ago. In fact, There was a time that my atafo did a giveaway of a wedding gown. Now, my atafo is a big deal. If I was getting married in that period, I probably would have put in for it as well. So look out for, good deals. Look out for promos. Look out for sales. These are some ways that you can save coins while planning your wedding. As opposed to buying stuff, you can rent. There are people who rent wedding gowns, very nice wedding gowns. People rent all sorts of things. I mean, I found an Instagram page where they rent hair. Yes, their business is renting hair to brides, and apparently they have customers. So if it will cost you too much to buy it, you can rent it and still look very good on your wedding day. Having a weekday wedding might, it's not certain, it might be a way to save some money on planning. Apparently, there are vendors who give discounts if you have a weekday wedding. So, most times, weddings are weekends, they have so many people dragging them left, right, and center. So, they're giving you their highest price, they're selling their service to the highest bidder. But if it's on a weekday, I mean, they're most likely going to be sitting at home chilling, and then you are bringing them business. So if you're able to negotiate well, you might get a reasonable cut for having your wedding on a weekday. The last tip I'd like to give is, if you're under pressure to do certain things, maybe from parents or from relatives or even parents, and you truly cannot afford to do those things, then get them to pay for it. Yes, if they insist on having it and you don't mind having it as well, then get them to pay for it. I hope these points have been very useful to you. If you recently got married, or you're a married person watching this, and you also have tips on how you saved money when you were planning your wedding, please drop them in the comment section. I'm sure that there are people who will be willing to learn. If you enjoyed this, please leave a comment so that I know that what I'm doing is important to you and is reasonable to you. If you check in the description box, I have a gift for you. So I'm going to be leaving a wedding budget template. You can use this template. It's a raw format. It's in a raw format. You can use it. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You can play around with it. There is also an extra worksheet that helps you select vendors, that helps you in vendor selection. So I hope this gift is useful to you. I hope it helps you make budgeting easier. Please don't forget to like my video. Please subscribe to this channel. Let's grow this channel. I know I need to be more consistent, and trust me, I'm working on it. But while I am still working on it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will see you in my next one. Bye.